representatives of both parties present, I'm going to go ahead and read a statement that I read in every single case. Once I'm done reading that, I will hand the case over to Miss Madeira, who's going to get your names and your spellings and swear you in. Once we do that, the commissioners will take over and they'll start taking testimony. So just bear with me while I read this statement to you. Good morning, and again, welcome to the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. Again, my name is Ali D. Medeiros. I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. Also present today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Miss Brenda Madeira, who is the case manager for this case, and Mr. Michael Fontaine, who runs our Zoom hearings for us. He's labeled FHC PCHR staff on your screens. Before the hearing, I am required to go over a few things with you. First, you are being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to me or the case manager, Ms. Madeira, and we will provide you with a copy of the video recording. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss today's cases. We do that on every hearing day with every case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that the commission generally only reviews the very basic documents in a case prior to a hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by a name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they will invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. A prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in the room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commissioner or a staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I'm going to hand the case over to Ms. Madeira.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. This is the case of Harry Orlow versus Kayet Greenberg. This is first hearing. This is for docket number 2025-02-19-19892. At this time, beginning with the tenant, would you please state your name and spell it clearly for the recording?
Harry Orlow, first name Harry, last name Orlow.
Thank you. Representative for Greenbrier, would you please state your name and spell it correctly? And what is your representation and your title for this case?
Sure. It's Laurie Molino, LAURIEMOLINO, and I am the property manager of Greenbrier Club Apartments.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Counselor, would you please put your name on the record, please?
Certainly. William Hilton, Esquire, from the law firm of Cohen Marasini, and I am representing the landlord slash respondent in this matter.
All right. Thank you, sir. So at this time, I would like to swear in the tenant as well as the property manager. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. So as you've been told, documents have already been submitted to this commission. If there is a document that you wish for all to see on the screen, please make mention of the title or the date. If you're using the date, please use the month, the day, and the year of said document. We will also ask you not to use pronouns, please. Make mention of the name that you are referring to during your testimony. We will ask you not to interrupt nor disrespect each other. You're to speak when spoken to. We will definitely ask you not to interrupt nor disrespect the commissioners as they proceed over this matter. At the end of the hearing, you will receive an order. You have the right to appeal the final order at the Court of Common Pleas. If you choose to do so, you'll need a copy of this recording that will be transcribed for that purpose. This case is scheduled in municipal court for June 20th, 2025. Again, my name is Brenda Madeira, and the commission is presiding over this matter today is Commissioner Bronson, Commissioner Baez, and Commissioner Sang. Thank you.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. The process for today's hearing will be as following. We'll first be hearing from the tenant, given that the tenant filed this complaint with Fair Housing Commission. And then the landlord, through their representative, may present a rebuttal. I would also like to state that this is a very short hearing. We will be done no later than 12:15 at the latest. I will begin by asking the tenant, Mr. Orlo, can you please state the property address?
Sure. The property address is 3901 Conshohocken Avenue, Philadelphia, PA, 19131.
And what is your unit number?
Apartment 2204.
Thank you. And are you still residing at the property?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And when did you first move into the property?
In October of 2019.
Okay. Just for the record, you did file this complaint with Fair Housing Commission on February 19, 2025. Is that accurate?
I do not have the exact date in front of me.
Okay, the complaint that I have before me states that you filed this on, on February 19th, 2025.
Yes, that based on what you're
When
showing me
you
now.
first moved in or at any, yes,
Pardon me?
okay. At just asking you regarding the, okay, at any time, have you received a document called a certificate of renter suitability?
Yes,
Okay, and have you received a lead safe certificate?
yes. However,
Okay.
I will say on the certificate of rental suitability, the certificate of rental suitability was not signed by the landlord.
Is that the one on the screen I'm showing right now, Mr. Orlo? You need it bigger.
I'm sorry,
The one I'm showing on the screen, I'm just confirming if that's the one Mr. Orlo received.
Ali, did you say something?
Yeah, so I'm putting a certificate of rental suitability on the screen.
Correct.
That's the correct one, Mr. Orlo?
Well, if you can go down a little further, I would be able to verify that where signatures are required.
Yes, sir. I should be on the screen.
Okay, I don't see it, but there's a place down there where it says that it's supposed to be signed by the landlord, and it was not.
Okay.
So
Go ahead, Commissioner Bias.
Okay, Mr. Orlo, what is the monthly rent?
monthly rent is $1,040.
Okay, and when was the last time that rent was paid to the landlord?
The last time I paid rent was on May 1st, 2025, and I paid $1,040.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yes, the last time I paid the rent was on May 1st, 2025, and I paid the full amount of $1,040.
Okay. So from your perspective, are you current on your rent?
Yes,
You do not have an outstanding balance with your landlord?
I do not.
Okay. Regarding the security deposit, when you first moved in, did you pay a last month's security and also last month's rent and a security deposit?
I do
Or
not have that.
simply just security?
I do not have that in front of me, but as I remember, I believe it was only the security deposit, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't have that information in front of me.
Okay. In your complaint, you said that you paid $1,000. Does that refresh your
That's,
memory?
yeah, that's what the rent started out as, $1,000, and then subsequently Um, there was a rent increase, a couple of rent increases. And also I had converted my lease to a 6-month, and now it's a month-to-month.
Okay, so Mr. Earl, I just need to know about the security deposit. I do not want to conflate issues. So just simply answer the question that I am asking you, okay? Just for
Okay.
the sake of time and also brevity and just being concise on the issues that we're talking about. So regarding the security deposit, the lease that is being shown on the screen states that you paid a 1,000 security deposit. My other question to you regarding this issue was whether or not you had paid the last month's rent when you first moved in.
No, as I recall, no.
Okay, so there was no upfront, only the security deposit was paid. Understood. Now, when you filed this complaint with Fair Housing Commission, you essentially made two allegations. One, you're claiming that your landlord is ending your lease or issued you a notice to vacate in retaliation for you requesting certain repairs. And then secondly, you are asserting that your landlord did not issue you a good cause reason to end your tenancy. Are you in, what is your understanding of what type of lease you are under? Are you on a month to month or are you on a yearly lease that renews every year?
Month-to-month.
Okay. Okay, so then with that being said, what exactly is your reasoning for saying that your landlord is retaliating against you?
Okay. Main reasons was for my involvement with when the L&I inspector, William M. Smith, came out. I approached him and told him about all of the violations all over the property. And also, so retaliation for going up to him, my involvement with the violations that were eventually issued. And what better to retaliate against someone than accusing them of the exact same thing that they were issued a violation for? And that is exactly what happened.
Right. So before we go into deeply into this, sir, I'm sorry. Before we go into deeply, when did the action that you're saying your landlord is retaliating against you, when did it happen?
Okay. The inspector came out on August the 27th, 2024, and the retaliation began when I received the notice of diversion rights on November 27th, 2024, and I attached that to the email that I sent to the commission yesterday, May 12th, 2025.
Okay, so just so that I understand you, you were making complaints along with L&I in October of 2024, and then you received 1 month later, November of 2024.
Um, just a little over after the time that he came. Yes, that was the time that I received the first notice that I just told you about, specifically the notice of diversion rights.
And that was in November of 2024.
Right. The exact date of the letter was November 27th, 2024.
Okay. So then what happened then? Because you filed this complaint in 2025. So
Correct.
what happened
Correct.
since then?
Since when?
Since November of 2024.
Since November 2024. What happened? Well, they were issued a violation for the property. after the inspector came out. Is that what you're looking there for? And then they had sent me this is very important to mention, they sent me a notice of non-renewal, which was dated January 30th, 2025. It says you must vacate and deliver possession no later than March 1st, 2025. And it's very important to point out that despite what they said in the letter, they went right ahead and filed the landlord-tenant complaint prior to that date of March 1st, specifically on February 24th, 2025. And this I also feel is a continued part of the retaliatory attitude on the part of Greenbrier to say that you're going to file, you're having so much time to get out, and then you go ahead and file before that.
Okay.
And the notice of non-renewal, of course, Attorney William Hilton submitted that yesterday, and you could clearly see in the court docket where they filed prematurely on February 24th, 2025.
Okay, so you're basically stating that the landlord did not give you good cause reason to end your lease? Is that the argument that you're making now?
What I'm saying is that they had the opportunity. There was a hearing before this back in October of 2023. They dismissed the case without prejudice. No breach was found. They had the opportunity to.
Okay, so before you're getting a little too far from me over here. You're talking about a 2023 hearing where exactly?
In municipal court.
Okay. So
They had
before we
several-
get
they had
into
se-
that, before
Okay.
we're not going to discuss any prior judicial orders that were given that are not before us at this time. But before we continue with your line of testimony, I would like to clarify would like to gain a little bit more understanding regarding the type of term that you're in with your landlord, and I would like to understand from their perspective what the term is. So before we continue
Sure.
with you, I would just like to confirm it with the landlord. Counsel for
Okay.
the landlord, what is the position of your client regarding the type of term that landlord and tenant have?
It is our position that Mr. Orlo has a year-to-year lease as per the original lease that he signed, as well as according to a prior decision by Judge Hope back in 2023.
Okay. And when does that 1-year lease expire?
I believe the
What-
1 year I believe the 1-year lease expires in October of every year, or the end of September of every year. So
Okay, thank you. Mr. Earl, did you hear what counsel stated? You're not under a month-to-month tenancy with your landlord.
I heard what he said, and that is false. First of all, there was no legal official ruling at all by Judge Hope concerning my tenancy being on a month-to-month. Secondly, the Fair Housing issued an order, final order, in May of 2024, clearly stating that I'm on a month-to-month lease and that the letter that Attorney William Hilton previously had sent out was invalid because he did not
So,
state
Mr.
any-
Earl, you are making the argument that you are not under a yearly lease, but rather you are on a month-to-month lease.
Yes, and the final order of the Fair Housing in May of 2024 confirms that.
I mean, do we have,
Yeah, can we do a breakout room, please?
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing at this time, given that commission needs to discuss certain matters regarding this case. So we're just going to open up the breakout rooms. So we ask that the parties click join when they see the prompt. We'll bring you back once we're ready.
Join means we're coming into the breakout room?
You're gonna be joining a breakout room, yes.
Okay. Hit that now?
Yes. So what happened?
Commission given, sorry. I would like just to state for the record, all parties are back. We had to resolve a question as to the type of term that the landlord and tenants are under. Given the last order from Fair Housing Commission, where we stated that the landlord tenant were in a month-to-month tenancy, and given that that order was not challenged, we will stand with the order that Fair Housing gave in that the landlord and tenants are under a month-to-month tenancy.
Mr.
Therefore,
Mr. Commissioner, does it matter that that was a ex parte decision? It was not made with any sort of hearing involving the landlord?
I believe that the landlord would have been involved either by presence or being subpoenaed or being asked to appear. If they failed to appear and did not challenge the order, that's a different matter.
It was ex parte with no hearing. Mr. Hilton, are you saying your landlord did not get notice of it?
We certainly didn't. We're not given any notice as to a hearing at all. No.
I'm not asking about the hearing. There
Okay.
was no hearing. Did you get notice of that final order?
We did receive the final order. Yes.
Okay. Yep. So you received the final order. You had the opportunity to appeal. Did you appeal it within 30 days?
We did not.
Okay, so then what Commissioner Byers is saying is true. We're treating it as a month-to-month lease.
All
You
right.
have the right to appeal this, obviously.
Right.
That's where we are. Go ahead,
Okay.
Commissioner Byers.
Okay, so now we're going to continue with the good cause challenge, Mr. Orlo. In the letter that your landlord sent you, landlord stated a number of reasons why they were no longer going to continue the landlord-tenant relationship. I would like to ask you specifically what you're challenging that these reasons are not good, essentially.
Correct. And attorney, my picture is not showing all of a sudden. It was before, but is there a reason why my face is not showing right now?
Sure, I'm gonna give you permission to turn your video on. There you go. You're back. Go ahead,
Okay.
Commissioner Byers.
Thank you. Okay.
So the reasons, sir, are on the screen that are listed. Go ahead, Commissioner Byers.
Right. One of the things that disturbing the rights of others, unauthorized pets, unsanitary living conditions, harassment of others in general. I would like to start with, I believe, is the most simplest one. The unauthorized pets. Do you have any pets
I do not have any pets.
in the
No, I
property?
do not. No, I do not. I have never had any pets. No.
I'm sorry.
Do you want me to elaborate? Can I elaborate on that?
Sure, are there any
I
do you have
couldn't hear
animals
the
in the
answer. I'm
property?
sorry. Go on.
You said there
Yeah.
were no pets, Commissioner Byers. Are there animals in the property, sir?
There are no animals in my property whatsoever. And what I wanted to add to that, which is extremely important, whenever you're talking about good cause, their attorneys know that
Mr. Erlo, just for the
yeah,
sake of this hearing, I don't know exactly where you're going, but I don't like the sound of it. Do you have any? Why do you believe that your landlord is claiming that you have unauthorized pets?
the reason why that she is adding things that I don't have, that I have unauthorized pets, is because she knows that there is not good cause to evict me. So she's just saying something to have something to say to evict me.
Okay,
I've never
understood. So
had
you're saying that you
any
have no
pets.
pets, there are no living creatures that will be considered pets that you are with. Okay, I understand. The disturbing the rights of others and the unsanitary living conditions and harassment of others are pretty self-explanatory. I understand that you may disagree with these reasons that the landlord is giving. I think that for the sake of time, it would be best for the landlord to explain exactly why they did that.
Well, may I say one thing first? Is it okay, or? Am I able to say one thing?
Mr. Byers.
Yes, you,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
May I say something?
yes.
Okay. Regarding breaches of the lease, all these things that they've mentioned, disturbing the rights of others, unauthorized pets, unsanitary living conditions, and harassment of others. I must say, in the two previous municipal court cases where they argued breach, no breaches were ever awarded.
So
And
we're
in
not
it,
Okay,
dealing with
so
the two cases.
because, thank you, Ali, go
We're
on.
only dealing with what these reasons are, and if you deny all these reasons, is that your testimony that you have not disturbed the right of others? You do not have unsanitary living conditions and you have not harassed anyone?
that is correct.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the landlord and have them explain why they put these here, and you'll be given the opportunity to respond.
Okay.
Go ahead, Commissioner Bias.
Okay. Mr. Helton, if
Yes.
you would like to go through that.
Yes, actually.
that would be-
And I'd like to have Ms. Lori Molino speak to the particulars of these because she's the fact witness and not really me. So if I could ask her a few questions.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Ms. Molino, just you're the property manager at Greenbrier Club Apartments, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And you've been there for how long?
Since November 2022.
All right. And you're familiar with Mr. Orlo?
I am.
All right. The lease that was put on the screen, that is the terms by which he's currently living. Is that correct?
I don't see the lease.
Oh, okay. If Ali, if you could put forth the or Miss Damaderos, I apologize.
You're fine, I'm working on it.
Okay. If we go to the top,
Yeah.
you see that?
Yes.
So is this the lease by which Mr. Orlo is currently living at Greenbrier Apartments?
Yes.
All right. Now, is Mr. Orlo under this lease allowed to keep any pets at the property?
With a pet deposit and that's non-refundable and a pet fee of $25 per pet. There's a 2-pet max. But it says anyone can have pets. We just need to know about them. They have to pay the fee.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has Mr. Orlo requested that he's able to keep any pets on the property?
No, he has not.
No. Okay. So the notice of non-renewal that was produced on the screen earlier had 4 items on there. Harassment of others. Actually, I'll look it up. And of course, Ms. Damaderos is going to put it on the screen. That notice of non-renewal, that came from my office, but did you ask us to send that?
Yes.
Okay. The 4 items there say disturbing the rights of others, unauthorized pets, unsanitary living conditions, and harassment of others. Do we have evidence of those 4 items?
Yes.
All right. What is our evidence of unauthorized pets?
We have a verbal and a statement in writing from one of his previous neighbors who had to vacate due to him screaming at the pets, getting mad when they're urinating in the hallways. There's a big, you can't video this or take pictures, but the smell that is penetrating from that, it's urine, like strong, like cat spray urine. And we were told that he was taking in the stray cats and then yelling at them, and he actually, was seen by that resident who now has vacated, bringing in stray animals.
All right. Have you seen these pets yourself?
No.
Okay. Have you spoken at length with the resident who has seen these pets?
Yes,
All right. Are you intending to bring that witness to the municipal court hearing on June 20th?
she vacated due to not being able to live here with Mr. Orlo any longer, and she's now in Connecticut.
Okay. With respect to the unsanitary living conditions, what is our position as to what those conditions are?
Just it's very per maintenance too. Maintenance has given us insight when they enter his apartment. Very untidy, very dirty, a very the smell, you can't even fathom the smell that comes out of that apartment in the hallway.
What is the nature of that smell?
So for 2 floors, you can walk up the stairwell, and there's two whole floors smells like this cat urine, this strong spray cat urine.
And were you able to identify the source of
Yes.
this cat urine smell?
Yes, it's Harry Orlo's apartment.
Okay. Moving on to the next item on our notice of non-renewal. Disturbing the rights of others and harassment of others. We'll kind of combine those. What is our evidence of disturbing and harassment of others?
Okay. I'll start with the lifeguards. They're underage girls. He asks them to buy him food. He sits very close to them, makes them very uncomfortable. The pool company, the lifeguards have reached out to us. We banned them from the pool. A resident gave him a pool pass to use, or this is what I heard from a resident. She didn't know he wasn't able to, and he said he was afraid to come to our office. He is not permitted at the pool. The pool company will not allow him. That's one of the things, underage and just being very just forcing himself. The landscapers have told us that he goes right on top of them when they're trying to work. He is very nosy, asks a lot of questions. They do not have to answer to him. Numerous neighbors have vacated that we lost. We can't retain anyone that we put near him. He pops up after they return from work, or they scare him. He scares them. He takes up a lot of their time. They can't even have groceries in their hand. He doesn't understand that they want to go in the, like, he's just constantly, yeah, he doesn't understand personal space. He constantly, gets in their way. We had recently the Western Pest Services. He approaches them all the time, like, and they say, there's one representative that's not there anymore, but he actually did treat Harry's apartment in December 2024, but Harry did not put a service request in with us that he needed any treatment. He just took it upon himself, and it was on their service report that he was treated, but not in our system. He's just constantly, injecting like himself with everybody. The trash people. Yeah.
You can't talk to anybody off the screen. It has to be just your testimony. If somebody else needs to testify, they have to be sworn in, just for the record.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yep.
Thank you.
You were referring to someone off screen. Who is that one person, by the way?
This is Tracy Wool. She's been here for 7 years. She's very familiar with Harry.
Okay, and would she?
Mr. Hilton,
Yes.
are we swearing her in?
No, I'm just referring to her.
It's hearsay to do parties. We can't do that.
Okay, fair enough. I apologize.
He either has to speak, or it has to be just Ms. Molina's testimony.
Okay, Ms. Molina, what is the colleague is next to you? What sort of knowledge does she have? Don't tell us what she said, but what does she know about with respect to these 4 items that we have?
She knows a lot. If you want me to swear her in, she can be sworn in.
Yeah,
All right, well,
let's swear her in.
Okay.
All right, put her on the camera, give her the microphone, and let's talk to her.
Ms. Madeira, can you help me out?
No problem. Okay, hello?
Hi.
Can you please state your name, spell it clearly? For
Yes.
the recording, and your relationship to this property, please.
Yes. I'm Tracy Woll, TRACEYWOLL, and I am the leasing agent.
Okay, so I'm gonna swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was your name again, ma'am?
Tracy Wall.
Tracy Wall. All right, Ms. Wall, how long have you been a leasing agent at Greenbrier Club?
For 7 years. It will be
7
eight. It will be 8 years, October 15th.
All right, and are you familiar with Harry Orlo, the tenant at 2204?
Yes.
All
Very-
right. What has your experience been interacting with Mr. Orlo?
It's been nonstop. Just a lot of complaints, basically.
Okay. Aside from just simply complaining about his apartment, what has he done in particular that would fit that in your opinion would fit within the confines of disturbing the rights of others or harassment of others?
A lot of tenants coming in saying that they are very uncomfortable with him being around.
All right. Have you had any experiences yourself with Mr. Orlo?
He used to come in the office a lot and pretty much not understand that we're busy working and go on and on and on. And then he would email a lot. Pretty
When you
much,
say a lot, give us an idea of like the frequency.
he used to come in every day until basically he was told he can't come in the office.
And what is the frequency of his email?
It was a lot. He hasn't done it in a while, but it used to be like constant. I mean, I have proof. I still have all the emails.
All right. But just give us a time frame, like how many per day?
He would do like one per day, but it would be a very long email.
Okay. Like how many paragraphs?
Probably about at least 4.
Okay. All right. And how much then did this take time to address on your part?
Well, me and the manager both got the emails at the time, the other manager. So she did definitely address him. And I definitely had said stuff to him also.
Okay. The people that have communicated their complaints, have you been in touch with them lately?
No,
Okay.
because they moved out.
All right. Do
Yeah.
you have yeah, I'm not going to ask any more about that. So, but you're saying that they moved out since their complaints about Mr. Orlo.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't believe I have any further questions for these two witnesses.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hilton. I would just like to confirm certain things with your client, the landlord,
Yes.
and that is regarding Mr. Arlo's, is he current with his rent? Is there any dispute regarding rental payments?
No, he has not had a renewal increase in some time. His rent is current, from what
Okay.
he's paying now, but there is a balance there, but
So he does have a balance, so he's not paid in full from your perspective.
we went to court for this. This was what we were trying for non-payment of rent. He put everything in an escrow, refused to pay the rent until recently, until Judge Hope, said
Okay, so
declared.
if there's a judicial,
I'm sorry, did he comply with what Judge Hope told him to pay back in 2023?
So yeah, but we were trying,
Okay, but if he.
yeah, it's
if-
fine. He's
okay.
yeah.
So how about since the that hearing before Judge Hope, has he fallen behind on his rent at all?
Prior to the Judge Hope.
Not prior to, but subsequent to.
After. No, yep. He's been paying 1040 each month. Not on the first, but he's paying.
Okay.
okay. And then Mr. Erlo also stated that he paid $1,000 in security and no last month's rent.
Yeah, he does not have last month on here. His security accrued interest, so I can go back and see what it was from the start.
No, we could just
Okay.
go with that he
Okay.
first paid $1,000 and then whatever that amount, the interest is, you and him will reconcile when he is no longer a tenant, if that ever happens.
Right.
Okay, is there, so I'm just going to allow now Mr. Erlo to give a response, if any, to the testimony that the landlord provided on the reasons for asking him to vacate the unit, notice to vacate.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
First of all, one of the best ways to prove my point is when the other party, specifically Lori Molino and Tracy Wall, are being dishonest, and I'm going to do that right now. Number one, when Lori said that I have not been allowed to the pool, that's false. My evidence is I have 2 forms that they require all tenants to sign before they use the pool. And I signed that form. I was allowed, and I've been allowed to go to the pool. That's a false statement right there, and I have proof of that. Second false statement that Lori Molino just made. Again, we're talking about credibility. She said, I have not been paying my rent. She said, I've been paying it, but not on the first of the month. That is another false statement on the part of Lori Molino. I have every record from every month that shows my rent has been paid on the first of the month. So that's 2 lies right there, and I can prove it. Next, as far as the cats urinating and causing a foul smell, that is completely false. And I would love her to show any video or picture of this other tenant or tenants that made that claim. As all of you know, we have phones, we have the ability to record immediately when we see something. I asked this during the eviction diversion hearing, do you have any evidence? And Amanda Lux, the paralegal, said no, there's no evidence at all for this. So no videos, no pictures, no nothing.
Objection,
Again,
hearsay as to what was said in the diversion hearing.
Okay, we're not going to talk about what was being said on the diversion program, Mr. Orla.
Sure. Okay. Regarding, but again, there's no evidence, there's no pictures, there's no videos of these unbelievable claims that are being made about cats urinating and me screaming at the cats. Certainly, any person who was concerned about this had the opportunity to take a picture, to take a video, to do something. No evidence whatsoever. Regarding Tracy Wall is also has been retaliating against me, and there's a reason for it. I have in writing from Greenbrier that they acknowledge that they misrepresented this unit as being an upgraded unit, which it is not. And Tracy Wall was the one who she's the leasing agent who misrepresented this apartment. And that was a big thing that was discussed in court. And that's why she's retaliating against me. I was never told that I can't come into the office. What's the proof of that? Well, when I had to sign the forms for the pool to be able to go to the pool, I went there quite frequently and could bring in a whole bunch of witnesses that would testify I was at the pool. In terms of all these other claims, completely false. I have never harassed anybody. I have never had any pets. I have never disturbed the rights of anybody or any of these other claims that they made. And one of the most important things.
Okay, Mr. Orla, I believe that you've been clear that you are disputing all of the claims that the landlord is saying.
Can I say one extremely important thing, please? Please, can I?
Last statement, go.
Okay. Since Lori Molino has been the property manager at Greenbrier since November of 2022, I have never received one email, one letter, nor one phone call from her regarding any wrongdoing whatsoever. This is all retaliation, and it is
Okay.
her normal.
Thank you, Mr. Orla. Okay. Mr. Helton, is there any other statements that you wish to make?
The only that we would contest the CRS that was presented by Mr. Orlo. The one that we filed with the court was signed, and it was presented to Mr. Orlo and his co-tenant at the time, Mr. Mohammed Elaba, in 2019. And it was signed in October of 2019. I can present a copy of that if needed.
Ali, is such copy needed for for housing?
I don't know if it's necessary for this because I don't think he acknowledged that he received an.
Yes,
Need a
I
copy.
agree.
We have one from 2019. It's on the screen.
Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, but that's the only thing I wanted to mention based on Mr. Orlo's testimony.
Could I say one
Okay.
thing too that I
You-
think is very important?
So we will not take any
Oh.
additional testimony at this time. I will
Gotcha.
state, however, Mr. Hilton, if there's any proof of prior notice given to the tenant of the behavior that the landlord is alleging, as you just heard him state in his last statement,
Mhm.
no notices were given to him of the complaints that were made by third parties. If there's any proof that these things have been, you can send them by a very concise and specific proof that he had been given prior notice of the issues that the landlord is complaining. If there's any proof of that, that would be appreciated.
Certainly, we will get
With
that to
that,
you.
yes, you can just email them to
President
Ali
Madeira
by
by
5 p.m.
Yeah, by 5 o'clock PM on May 16th, 2025, which is Friday.
You got it.
All right, with that, this case will be taken under advisement. That just means that we are not going to be issuing a final order. A final order will be decided at a later date, and the parties will be communicated once we reach that order. We hope to do so before the 6/20/2025 hearing that you folks have at MC. I'm sorry, municipal court. Okay, with that, parties are free to leave.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned. Take care.
Okay.